feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no wave.
Soulja Boy. Have y'all seen this? So Soulja Boy, he actually got found liable in a civil case for assault, sexual battery of his former assistant. Okay, the person actually follows a Jane Doe, but referring him to his assistant, you could probably figure out who it was. Maybe not you publicly, but people who were around him. The Jane Doe plaintiff received $4 million in compensatory damage and another $250,000 in punitive damage for the claims that the rapper assaulted, sexually battered, and harassed her. Now, keep in mind, we also see these headlines, but we never hear, oh, the wire went through. Like, do we ever hear the victim get any money, supposedly? No, this is going to get appealed. Obviously, the amount is going to get appealed. He's going to try to get that reduced. And then they're probably going to try to figure out if there was anything done incorrectly, that they could possibly get this thing tossed out, the whole judgment tossed out, and that maybe they could do this whole thing again. But it looks like, this ain't one of those where, a lot of times with rappers, we see that the rapper don't show up or don't even participate, and it's a default judgment. Apparently, Soulja Boy was there. They said California jury found Grammy-nominated producer and rapper Soulja Boy liable for claims that he assaulted, sexually battered, and harassed a Jane Doe plaintiff while she worked as his personal assistant, lived with him, and entered into sometimes a consensual, intimate relationship between 2019 and 2020. After 2 days of deliberation, the jury announced that the cranked out rapper owes a woman $4 million. The panel also agreed that the way he acted was with malice, oppression, and fraud, and awarded another $250,000 in punitive damages. Now let's try to get a little bit of understanding of what's going on. It says, I feel like I got justice. Obviously, he's not going to return everything I lost. I lost way more than I gained. My hope is that he doesn't do it to any more women, Jane Doe told Rolling Stone after the jurors were excused. The woman said it was hard to step forward and testify, especially when she had to give an embarrassing details about her lowest point in her relationship. And she was grateful that the jury understood. She said, I don't even recognize that person anymore. The person he turned me into was the worst version of myself. It's like I was in survival mode. In their slightly mixed decision, the jury found that Soulja Boy placed the woman in fear and subjected her to sexually offensive contact, gender violence, and inflicted emotional distress. They found that the woman suffered severe and pervasive harassment when she worked for him during this time, and they declined to award anything for the woman's false imprisonment and hostile work environment, finding that he didn't deprive her of her freedom or ability to resign. So why did they? I guess they found that it was harassment. What? As the verdict was read, he looked straight ahead. He appeared to have had a faint smile on his face when the clerk revealed that the jury had awarded $760,000 for the assault claim. His expression dropped after he heard the $1.5 million for the sexual battery claim. He left the courtroom with his head down. Shortly after, the clerk said the jury's decided he might face punitive damages as well. The district attorney never filed charges. I was never charged or convicted of this criminally, so to be accused of this civilly is beyond me. I've never done anything of the things they're accusing me of. Feels like this is unfair. I'm no in a longer prepared statement that he reads off his phone, he says, I want to make it clear I'm innocent. This case was never about justice. It was about money, personal gain. I will not let that stand. I'm committed to filing an appeal and fighting for the truth to be revealed. Jane Doe's lead lawyer was Ronald Zambrano and praised the verdict, saying that we're happy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. His co-counsel said, all right. They said prior to the trial, Soulja Boy made a settlement offer of $100,000. Testifying about his net worth during the phase, Soulja Boy admitted that he pays $25,000 a month for his rented mansion, owns 5 cars, including a Lamborghini, but he claims he only made $20,000 last month and was late to pay his landlord. He told jurors he has 2 young kids, ages 1 and 2, lacks health insurance, and that the sexual assault accusations has caused him to lose out on a big performance at Coachella. One of his lawyers told the jury the extra $4 million in punitive damage requested by Jane Doe would be crippling and likely lead to bankruptcy. During the closing arguments on Monday, the woman wiped away tears and she said she deserved $73.6 million in total damages for the alleged horror she suffered at the hands of Way. She painted Way as a brutal boss who would regularly R-word and beat the woman. Wow. Huh? and subjected her to labor code violations and dressed up in non-prescription fake glasses and a suit to lie to jurors about the abuse. He R-worded her, punched her, kicked her, cut her, picked her up, slammed her, choked her, left bruises from squeezing her arm, grabbed her by the head, by a mirror, and said no one will love you. Told a jury of 7 women and 5 men. He pointed a Draco at her, locked her in a room, threatened her family, threatened her, denied her food. The lawyer showed the jurors screen grabs from text messages from the woman and Way. In one exchange, Soulja Boy says, "I hope you die slow." Jane Doe responded with, "You think you can keep hitting on me? You're crazy." He responded, "Fuck you, bitch." In other messages, he says, "You body slammed my head and choked me." He says, I should have just let you hit me. I don't know anymore. I feel lost." Zambrano said Soulja never responded to the woman text accusation with protests that she was making false claims. He usually ignored them. When he did text a woman, he often asked her to complete tasks such as picking up his food, setting up his computer, organizing his travel. He also sent disparaging messages saying, "I hope you catch corona, bitch. I should have killed your ass." He says in Soulja Boy's defense, the rapper's lead attorney, that Way was a victim of an ex-girlfriend advanced a false story for money. The lawyer argued that when the woman first reported the allegations to the police, she didn't tell the investigating deputy that Way allegedly knocked her unconscious on one occasion and separately smacked her in the mouth and forced her to engage in oral copulation. Her story evolved over time. He also argued that the woman could have escaped the alleged false imprisonment at his house, but she traveled with airport with him that were calling with police. They urged the jurors to interpret one message where she demanded $50,000 in a Dodge Charger to resolve her claims. He called the effort extortion and pointed out that one text he did push back against the woman's claims, telling her to stop texting him police shit. Plaintiff was motivated by jealousy, revenge, and financial gain. She wanted to be paid. This is what his case was all about. It's not about the truth. It's just not. The woman reported her alleged abuse. In 2020 and 2021, the district attorney declined to file charges due to insufficient evidence to prove the alleged crimes true beyond a reasonable doubt. Over the 4-week civil trial, the jury heard from the woman, heard from Soulja Boy. So Soulja Boy testified, several medical experts, bodyguard. In a graphic and harrowing testimony delivered, the woman described a purported bathroom attack during a police raid. She claimed Soulja chucked several guns out the window into a steep canyon and was trying to dispose of narcotics in the bathroom when he allegedly spun her around, pulled her pants down, and started having sex with her. She didn't immediately report the attack to the sheriff duties who raided the house because she was terrified of Soulja and retaliation. "I fear for my life." She claimed Soulja told her he knew where her mother lived at. He could send shooters to the house. "I was scared what he would do to my family. I wanted to hurt nobody." Oh my God, this is a long thing, bro. Okay. All right. Look like, is this a video of Soulja Boy reading his phone? Okay, let's see. Soulja Boy. Yeah, he has been noticeably quiet in the last week. Here we go.
What's up, Soulja Boy? You worried they're gonna hit you with a big verdict?
You look good, sharp. I guess that was before, right? Is there another one of him after? I'm wondering what, well, I guess the details, we kind of skipped some of them, but it must have been some crazy shit said in court, man. I want to see when he supposedly read all of this shit. Because I guess he read his statement. Oh, no. It's a picture. Maybe there's no video. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think if that woman wants to see some money, she goes to Soulja, and I know this is going to sound crazy, and say, yo, give me $750,000 or give me $1 million. That $4 million, I don't think Soulja getting up off of that, you know. And I think he'll go down the route of Game or somebody else and just file bankruptcy. It's like he's not gonna willingly just be like, hey, I'm just wire you the money, or it's gonna be catch me if you can. Like a lot, you know, between getting a judgment in the civil case and actually collecting on it, it's a lot, you know. All right, but yeah, this case went under the radar for a while. Because no one ever talked about it till today, huh? Let's see if I can get anything more on this situation. Yeah, Soulja never talked about it, huh? I see why. There's a video? Where's the video? Send me the video. So if there's a video, just send me the video. I can't find the video. Soulja Boy court. Like I'm looking for. Okay, let's listen.
Trial. This is his civil sexual assault trial that's been going on for a few days, at least a couple weeks, and is going to be going into next week at least. He has not yet testified, but this is a former employee, former girlfriend, who he was hired. She said she was hired as for $500 a week to be his personal assistant. She's a blunt roller. And
what?
This was back a couple years ago, back 2020 time. The lawsuit was actually filed in 2021, and we're just now getting to trial on it. But she alleges she was held captive, physically, emotionally, sexually abused. I haven't heard a dollar figure yet for how much in damages she's seeking, but I'm sure it's going to be in the millions of dollars. They'll state that in closing argument. But Soulja Boy's in court hearing. He's at the defense table. She's at the plaintiff's table. She's actually been on the witness stand for the last couple of days. She was testifying last week, and then she testified yesterday. Cross-examination started. Soulja Boy's lawyer started questioning her, and then she was back on the stand today, but it was a short day. She got back on the stand in the afternoon, but
I want to hear the details.
Assaulted in it, because I guess in the opening statements, which I didn't hear, but I guess Soulja Boy's lawyers say that she never mentioned this in the police interview.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So here's a big difference between civil trials and like obviously criminal proceeding. Criminal proceeding that would be brought by a district attorney. In a civil, in a civil case, you only have to be found liable for it. It doesn't mean it necessarily has to happen. Like, for example, you could get found liable for assault and you didn't assault somebody. Meaning, like, say somebody got punched in the face or injured somehow. There is a possibility of you getting found guilty of that in a civil case, because the standard and stipulations on what it means for you to be liable of that injury or that claim is very much different than a criminal case. In a criminal case, it would be, did you injure that person at all? If you didn't injure them, there's no case, right? but you could be found liable for something even if you didn't do it. It's kind of crazy. So this is why, like, you know, obviously, I think people look at criminal cases, and you know, if there's a conviction, it's a slam dunk on a civil. But even if there is, you know, a lack of conviction, or even if there's no charges, people still go for a civil case, because if you could just prove that somebody's liable for something, right? All right. Okay. Enough of that. Damn, what just came to me?